morning. It's a Monday, and I'm going to try and take you throughout my whole week in my new, partially employed, newly unemployed schedule, which is less of a schedule and more of a concept, but we're going to do it, and hopefully it'll work. I don't know if Greek eggs are an actual thing or if I've been making an abomination to man, but I had to make tzatziki and red pickled onions for something else last week for a Greek chicken recipe. Lately for breakfast, I've been making eggs and putting both of those things on the eggs. So someone tell me if that's weird or not. I'm not sure. This morning I have a doctor's appointment. I am going to see if my iron has actually gone up because I did my first iron infusion like a month ago, which ironically was the day before I got laid off, which is the other piece that I forgot to mention. When I got the iron infusion, the nurse kind of jokingly but seriously was like, "Oh, you're not going to sleep tonight because they put a steroid in first." And I thought she was exaggerating, like, "Oh, I'll be up till 12:30." And I was like, whatever, I stay up late. I had the worst night's sleep of my entire life. I did not go to sleep until 4:30 a.m. It was so awful. At 2:30, I just woke up and got a shower because I could not figure out anything. I was just buzzing. It was the worst feeling I've ever had. Updates. I did get the coffee shop job. I start tomorrow. I'm very excited. It feels really good. I'm feeling good about all of it. And so I'm training these next couple of weeks, and I'm just excited to learn a new skill and to kind of figure out my balance with shooting things for other clients and still pitching clients, and then do it for freelance if you're new here. Also going to try and make some bread today, but I'm a little worried about it because I fudged the timeline last night and it did not rise like it normally does this morning. And so we will just have to see how it goes and how it bakes up. I'm determined to still bake it. I got back from my doctor's appointment. It was good. I have iron in my body now, which I didn't before. So that's good. And I'm excited that it's not a fluke and that I can actually absorb iron, because for a minute there I was not sure at all. So I'm going to make a matcha now. A double batch of matcha because I accidentally poured so much maple syrup into the first one and it was way too sweet. So now I just doubled it. I also got out my cast iron to bake for the first time in months, which I've talked about. And if there's one thing about me, I'm kind of bad at taking care of my cast irons, especially my Dutch oven. My pans are a lot easier to take care of because you're normally cooking in them with grease and things and they stay seasoned okay. But my Dutch oven is totally rusty. So now I'm baking my bread in a rectangular dish that I have, which should be fine. It'll still be fresh bread. It already didn't rise properly, so it's probably going to turn out kind of mid anyway. And that's just how it's going to go today. I'm about to sit and edit a video for my local page that I started. I don't know if I mentioned this yet. I decided to go ahead and jump into a local Instagram page, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time because I love where I live. I live in Columbia, Tennessee. It's outside of Franklin, Tennessee, which is outside of Nashville. If you haven't heard of the first two, you've definitely heard of the last one, maybe, depending on where you're watching from. And I love my little town. It's a little Hallmark kind of cozy Tennessee town, and it took me a long time to love Tennessee as a state because I grew up here and I went to school here. But as I've found all these little corners that I really like. I have become the one who recommends things and recommends where to eat, what to do. I always know when events are happening. And so for months, people had been telling me to create a local page, or like that I should do one of those. And I never did. My last job was kind of funky about people having outside passion, hobby, or outside endeavors, even if they didn't make money. Just like, I don't know, I was just a little bit of afraid of what that could entail, especially if I did start to profit off of it in any way. All that to say, so I started the page. And I did 30 straight days of content, which is something, I have a friend who started the same kind of page for Chattanooga. She did 30 straight days of content. It was like a challenge from another creator. But I've just, more than anything, enjoyed making the content. And it's so fulfilling to have a passion project again. Something I didn't mention in the last video was how much I was burnt out at my last job. And that was part of the reason it was such a relief to go ahead and have that hard cut, because I was burnt out in the job, but that also meant I was burnt out in all of the creative outlets in my life. I didn't feel like making things for myself. And so this has made it so that I have something I'm striving for. I'm striving to create quality content, and it's just for me. My goal is just to bolster up all the businesses that I love, and I've already seen that happening, and I've already seen them get creative and get excited and get inspired by my account. And that's just been the coolest thing. So I'm about to edit another video for that account. It's called Muletown Moments. If anyone wants to follow it and someday visit Columbia, Tennessee, which you should. I have successfully made the densest loaf of bread I've ever made. This is worse than the first loaf I ever tried. But bread is bread, and I'm gonna eat it. But this is how bad it was. When I checked it after the normal baking time, that would be like if I had done everything right, I cut it open down the middle, because you're supposed to let it rest, but I didn't because I really wanted bread. And I cut it open down the middle, and it was dough in the middle. Like, it hadn't even baked up all the way, so I had to leave it in there for quite a bit time longer. Anyway, it still tastes, bread still tastes good even if it's not good. Like, it's not very airy like you want. And I basically did everything wrong because I was being lazy. And I knew that I was being lazy, so that's on me. But anyway, I'm gonna eat this bread, doing some work. Just waiting on them to come replace my cable modem. We're about 2 hours halfway through the window now, and they haven't come yet. So we'll see if they actually show up, because I have no other time for them to stop by my house this week. I'm about to go in to do my first training session for the new coffee shop job. And I'm so weirdly anxious about it. I think just because it's been so long since I've started something, like a new job, that it's just a really weird sensation. And I'm really excited, but I'm feeling anxious about my day, I think, in general, because I have a lot going on today. I'm going to this session, which is just a 2-hour shift where I'm doing going over some of the paperwork and the manual, I think, and so it's not even a full shift, but it's my first one. Then I'm going to shoot for a business that kind of requested I come over and shoot for the local page, and gonna feature this nonprofit that I'm excited to go do. It's gonna be fun. And then I want to shoot one other place, which no one's making me shoot. This is also for the local page, but I think I'm just still trying to find the balance of how I want all this to work, and working part-time with the content that I want to make for myself, and then also still trying to pitch other clients and schedule those meetings. And so I'm trying to be chill is what I'm saying, I guess, because I'm excited. It's going to be a good day, but I just feel I keep having stress dreams also. That's definitely part of this. Last night it was that 2 strangers came into our family's house, and I was the only one who thought it was weird, and everyone else was like, why are you being so freaked out? They're so nice. And they were clearly stealing things from us and taking advantage of us, and that was really wild. And the night before, I was in some sort of cult simulation situation. So I didn't like that either. Nothing changes it. Like last night I took some melatonin because I hoped it would help, because I had the cult dream the night before, but it didn't. I still had a stress dream. So, but then my sleep score, like I tracked my sleep and it said that I slept really well, which I guess I technically did, like physically, but I didn't feel like I slept that well. So that's how I'm feeling today. So just wanted to share. Okay, so I went to the little thrift Christmas shop, which was so much fun. And then I went to this market that has recently opened up with like local farm fresh things downtown, like outside of the square. So this is what I got at the market. I realized I could also make more bread the correct way, because I do know how to make bread the correct way, but I really wanted to pick up this garlic and Parmesan loaf because it looked so good. So I grabbed that. I got some farm fresh eggs because I love farm fresh eggs. Every time I do this, I'm afraid I'm going to like knock them all out. I would paint a room this color. I love the color of like real farm fresh eggs. Then I picked up this creamed vanilla honey because that just sounded like it would be really good in coffee. The last thing I got was a fresh chuck roast. I don't feel like I need to show you that. You know what meat looks like and it's all wrapped up anyway. So that's what I got at the market. So now I'm going to go change and get ready to go to the ranch that I volunteer at every week, a nonprofit equine assisted mentorship program ranch for people who have been through trauma. So it's really cool. Basically what I do is help take care of the horses right now. I hope to one day be able to graduate to where I can help lead sessions and things like that. But right now I just take care of the horses, which I'm not mad about. If you've been here a long time, you know that I have always been horse squirrel adjacent. I've never owned one for myself, but I love being around them and hanging out with them. So I love my days that I get to go to the ranch and help out. So I'm going to go get changed now. It's gloomy outside. I turned on Calm Cafe Naturescapes. The air, Caleb and I went on a walk this morning and the air feels terrible. Like it's so muggy. It's only like 70 degrees, but I think the high is like 80 today. And it just feels awful. Like I just want it to be cold. I hate this in-between weather. It is the worst. It's so humid. I bought these inserts for New York and they're specific to like knee and joint pain, and they were such a game changer. It made me be able to walk for miles and miles, and so now I wear them like all the time with certain shoes. What's crazy is that when I used to work at a cafe like 6 years ago, or like 4 years ago, I guess, 4 or 5, time is an illusion. When I used to work at a cafe before, I was wearing like Converse, and like I was never wearing any sort of arch support. Who is she? I don't know. It's now afternoon. I got done with my shift and I picked up groceries, so I'm gonna put them away. And I pulled so many shots of espresso today. I feel like I'm kind of on a time crunch now, which is weird because I don't have anything else actually going on this afternoon, but I need to make rolls. My family's doing like an early Thanksgiving thing this weekend, and I have been asked to bring yeast rolls or like sourdough discard rolls. So I'm going to make those, but it's been a minute since I've made them. But from what I remember, they're pretty easy. So I'm going to make those, put those together. I'm going to cook the chuck roast that I bought yesterday for dinner tonight. And then I'm going to... I think that's basically it. Why do I feel so stressed? I think it's because of the rolls. It's day 3 of going in for my coffee shift, and I have made flashcards for myself to try and memorize the drinks and all of the stuff that I need to know for my barista test. I knew it would be fun to learn new things, but it is honestly exhilarating to learn new information that I've never had before. Like, I don't think as adults we realize how long we go without learning new things, unless like maybe you're in a position where you're researching and learning new things all the time, or you're in grad school or something, I don't know. But if you're not, and you're like me and you worked in the same job for 5 years and you're used to knowing everything in your job, I like exposing myself to new experiences, but it's not quite the same as like digesting information out of necessity. I haven't had to do that in so long. I haven't trained for a job in so long. And it's honestly the best part of this. Like, this is so rewarding and it feels so good for me. Like, it feels right to be able to be in a new position and learn new things and have to memorize and absorb. All of these shifts have started at 10. It's kind of like a weird timing thing just because of the training. So I've had like awkward time in the morning. So this morning I've just been responding to some emails. I have some other client stuff that I need to take care of. Yeah, so I'm just going to finish up some more work here. Oh, I have to show you this. This is my apron. It is not new, but it is new to me. I have inherited some pins from the person before me, and then I added one of my own. Something about me, haven't worked in a cafe in like 5 years at this point. I love a good apron. I'm most excited about the apron. Truly, honestly.